The restaurant was supposed to be celebrating my graduation. Kendall Steakhouse, the place my family only went to for the most special occasions, was packed with other families toasting their newly minted college graduates. The sound of champagne glasses clinking and proud parents bragging about their children's futures filled the air. At our table, however, the atmosphere was different. My mother's smile was too sharp, my father's posture too rigid, and my sister Emma had her phone positioned at just the right angle to capture whatever was about to happen. My name is Nathan Chun. I had just turned 21, and I was about to discover that my college graduation wasn't a celebration but an execution. The funny thing was, I had been preparing for this moment for 2 years. They just didn't know it yet. Nathan, my mother began, her voice carrying that false sweetness she used when she was about to say something particularly cruel. Your father and I have something for you. A graduation gift. She slid a manila envelope across the table. It was thick, legal-sized, and had the logo of Brennan & Associates, my father's law firm, embossed in the corner. My sister Emma leaned forward, her phone steady, a smirk playing at her lips. Go on, Dad said, his voice cold. Open it. I knew what was inside before I even broke the seal. I had known this was coming since my sophomore year, when I had refused to change my major from computer science to law, since I had refused to pledge his fraternity, since I had chosen an internship at a startup over a summer position at his firm. Every choice I had made that wasn't his choice had led to this moment. The papers were exactly what I expected. Voluntary disownment and disinheritance agreement. 20 pages of legal language, essentially saying that I, Nathan Chun, was no longer considered a member of the Chun family, would have no claim to any family assets, and would receive no support of any kind going forward. You're filming this? I asked Emma. For posterity, she giggled. And my TikTok. The moment my loser brother gets officially disowned. It's going to go viral. Linda, would you like to explain? Dad said to Mom, like this was a rehearsed performance. Of course, Richard. Mom's voice was loud enough for nearby tables to hear. Nathan, for 4 years, we've given you every opportunity to live up to the Chun family name. We paid for your education. Partially, I interrupted. I covered 60% through scholarships and internships. Don't interrupt your mother, Dad snapped. As I was saying, Mom continued, we gave you opportunities, and you've thrown them all away. You refused to study law, refused to join the family firm, refused to even date the right kind of girl. That computer nonsense you waste your time on, that's not a career for a Chun. And so, Dad took over. We're giving you what you clearly want. Complete independence. You're on your own. Sign the papers, and we can all move on with our lives. Is this really necessary? I asked, though I already knew the answer. You've been an embarrassment, Dad said flatly. Your cousins are all in law school or medical school. Emma here is pre-med with a 4.0 GPA. And you're what? Going to work for some startup that will fail in 6 months. Something like that, I said, pulling out my own pen. Not the cheap Bic they'd probably expected, but the Mont Blanc I'd bought myself last week. The one with my new company's logo engraved on it. Oh, he has a fancy pen, Emma mocked, zooming in with her camera. Did you steal it? Bought it, I said simply, beginning to sign the papers. With my signing bonus. What signing bonus? Mom laughed. From that little startup? What did they give you? $5,000. 3.2 million, actually. The table went silent. Emma's hand shook, the phone's image going blurry for a moment. Don't lie to make yourself feel better, Dad said, but his voice had lost some of its edge. I'm not lying. I continued signing each page methodically. Neural interface technologies. You probably haven't heard of them, because you don't pay attention to computer nonsense. They bought my senior project, the patent for the adaptive AI algorithm I developed. Google and Microsoft were also bidding, but NIT offered the best package. That's impossible, Mom said. You're making this up. The announcement goes live Monday, I said, signing the last page. But since I'm being disowned anyway, I guess you'll read about it in the Wall Street Journal like everyone else. Wait, Emma said, lowering her phone. You're serious? I pulled out my phone and showed them the email. The contract. The wire transfer confirmation. $3.2 million. Sitting in my account as of yesterday. This has to be fake, Dad said, grabbing my phone. He scrolled through the documents, his face growing paler with each swipe. It's real. And there's more. I've been hired as their Chief Innovation Officer, youngest in the industry. The salary is, well, more than you make, Dad. How, when? Mom stammered. For the last 2 years, while you were telling everyone I was wasting my time, I was building something revolutionary. While you were embarrassed by me at family dinners, I was in meetings with venture capitalists. While Emma was making TikToks mocking her loser brother, I was finalizing the deal that set me up for life. But you never said anything, Emma protested. Why would I? You made it clear I was a disappointment. Dad called me a failure at Thanksgiving. Mom told the entire country club I'd never amount to anything. Emma, you've spent 4 years treating me like I'm beneath you. Why would I share my success with people who were rooting for me to fail? We're your family, Mom said weakly. Were? I corrected, tapping the signed disownment papers. According to this, we're legally nothing to each other now. Nathan, let's not be hasty, Dad said, his lawyer instincts kicking in. These papers, they're not filed yet. We can tear them up, forget this happened. Why would we do that? I asked. This is what you wanted. You brought them here, made a big show of it. Emma's been streaming this live to her followers. You can't take it back now. Be reasonable, Mom pleaded. We're still your parents. No, you're not. You just legally disowned me. In front of witnesses. On camera. I gestured to Emma's phone. How many viewers do you have right now, Em? She checked reluctantly. 8,000. 8,000 witnesses to you officially cutting me out of the family. That's binding, wouldn't you say, Dad? You're the lawyer. Nathan, we didn't know about the money. And that's the point. I stood up, my voice rising for the first time. You didn't care enough to know. You didn't ask about my projects, my internships, my life. You just decided I was a failure because I didn't follow your predetermined path. Well, congratulations. You got what you wanted. I'm not your son anymore. Please sit down, Mom hissed, noticing other diners staring. People are watching. Let them watch. Let them see the Chun family disowning their son at his graduation dinner. Let them see you choosing your pride over your child. My phone buzzed. I glanced at it and couldn't help but smile. What? Dad demanded. My new boss. Wondering if I can fly to San Francisco tomorrow to meet the team. First class, of course. Nathan. Mom's voice broke. We can work this out. There's nothing to work out. You've made your position clear for years. I was never good enough. Never the son you wanted. Well, now you don't have to be disappointed anymore. You can tell everyone I'm not your problem. The money, Dad started, is mine. Earned through the work you belittled. Protected in accounts you can't touch. And thanks to these papers, you have no claim to any of it. You planned this, Emma said suddenly. You knew we were going to do this. I suspected, I admitted. Dad's been dropping hints for months. One more disappointment and you're out. The Chun family has standards. I figured graduation was your moment, so I made sure the patent sale closed this week. I wanted to be fully independent when you cut me off. You could have told us, Mom said, tears starting to form. About the success, the money. When? During the family dinner where Dad said computer science was for people too stupid for real careers? During the Christmas where you told Grandma I was your little disappointment? During Emma's birthday when she introduced me as her failure brother to all her friends? Those were jokes, Emma said weakly. Were they? Because they felt pretty real. The exclusion from family photos, because I might embarrass you. The separate table at Cousin Michael's wedding, because you didn't want to explain why I wasn't in law school. The constant, relentless message that I wasn't good enough. Those were all jokes. Silence. I have to go, I said, standing again. I have a red eye to catch. Nathan, please. Mom grabbed my arm. We're sorry. We didn't mean. You meant every word, I said, gently removing her hand. Until you found out I had money. That's what changed, isn't it? Not that you hurt me, but that I'm worth something now. That's not fair, Dad said. Isn't it? 5 minutes ago, you were happy to disown me. The only thing that changed is a number in a bank account. That tells me everything I need to know about what kind of family this is. Where will you go? Emma asked. It's graduation weekend. Hotels are booked. I bought a condo, I said. Downtown. Paid cash. Been living there for 3 months. Not that any of you noticed I moved out. You moved out? Mom gasped. In February. You never came to my apartment. Never asked where I was living. I kept my bedroom at home staged for the few times you bothered to check on me, but I haven't actually lived there since winter break. We thought you were at the library, Dad said. You hoped I was at the library. You never actually asked. Just like you never asked about my thesis, my job interviews, my life. You were so busy being disappointed in who I wasn't that you never saw who I was. Mr. Chun. We all turned. A man in an expensive suit stood beside our table, looking somewhat uncomfortable. Yes. Both Dad and I said simultaneously. Nathan Chun, the man clarified. I'm Marcus Webb from Forbes. We spoke on the phone about the interview. Forbes, Mom whispered. Monday at 2, right? I confirmed. Yes. But I'm actually here with my family. He gestured to another table. I recognized you from your LinkedIn photo. I just wanted to say congratulations again. What you've accomplished at your age is remarkable. The 30 under 30-foot list is going to be exciting this year. Thank you, Mr. Webb. I'll see you Monday. He walked away, leaving my family in stunned silence. Forbes, Dad repeated. 30 under 30? They're doing a feature on young innovators in tech. My algorithm is apparently a big deal. I shrugged. But hey, it's just computer nonsense, right? Nathan. Mom started. I really do have to go. I picked up the disownment papers, folding them carefully. I'll file these on Monday as requested. Emma, I hope your video got lots of likes. You can tell your followers you don't have a loser brother anymore. You don't have a brother at all. Wait. Dad stood up. The papers, give them back. We'll destroy them. No. You wanted this. You planned this. You brought a lawyer-drafted document to my graduation dinner. You had Emma film it. You announced it loud enough for half the restaurant to hear. This is what you wanted. We made a mistake, Mom said desperately. You made a choice. And for once, it's one I agree with. We're better off apart. You can't just leave, Emma said, her phone finally lowered. Watch me. I walked out of Kendall's Steakhouse, leaving behind the 3 people who had spent 21 years telling me I wasn't enough. The irony was perfect. They had disowned me at the exact moment I no longer needed them. My phone rang as I reached my car. It was James, my best friend and now business partner. How'd it go? He asked. Exactly as expected. They brought the papers, made their big announcement, then found out about the deal. And suddenly they want to be a loving family again. Predictable. You okay? Better than okay. I'm free. Your flight's at midnight. Wanna grab a real celebration drink? Yeah. Let's go to Murphy's. Murphy's was a dive bar near campus, the opposite of Kendall's in every way. James was already there, along with a few other friends who actually knew about my success because they'd bothered to ask about my life. To Nathan, James raised his beer, who just became a millionaire and an orphan in the same week. By choice, I added clinking glasses. Show them the other thing, James said. What other thing? Asked Lisa, a friend from my computer science program. I pulled up my email and showed them the message I'd received that morning. MIT. Lisa gasped. They're offering you a full ride for your PhD? And a teaching position. I haven't decided yet. The company wants me full-time, but MIT is willing to let me do both. When did you apply? She asked. 6 months ago. The acceptance came through yesterday. Yesterday? The same day as the patent sale. I wanted everything to happen at once. If my family was going to disown me, I wanted to be completely set when it happened. You really did plan this, James said admiringly. I learned something freshman year, I said. When your family sees you as a disappointment, you have two choices. You can spend your life trying to change their minds, or you can succeed despite them. I chose the latter. But they're your family, Lisa said softly. Doesn't it hurt? It hurt for years. Every dismissive comment, every comparison to my successful cousins, every time they introduced me as their challenging child. Today doesn't hurt. Today is liberation. My phone buzzed. Emma had sent the TikTok link. The caption read, "Deleting soon. My brother is actually rich, and I'm an idiot." I clicked on it. The video had 50,000 views already. The comments were brutal, all attacking my family for their treatment of me. Someone had even found my LinkedIn and posted about my achievements. The narrative had completely flipped. You going to watch it? James asked. No point. It doesn't change anything. Another buzz. A text from Dad. Nathan, we need to discuss this rationally. The papers haven't been filed. We can work this out. Then Mom, please come home. We love you. Then Emma, I'm sorry. I didn't know. Please don't cut us off. I blocked all 3 numbers. Harsh, Lisa observed. Necessary, I corrected. They had 21 years to love me. They chose judgment instead. Now that I have money, they want another chance? That's not love. That's greed. What about holidays? Birthdays? She asked. I'll make my own traditions. With people who valued me before I was worth millions. Speaking of which, James said, the team wants to throw you a Real graduation party. Saturday, after you get back from San Francisco. A party with people who actually like me? Novel concept. We drank and talked until my flight. As I boarded the plane to San Francisco, I turned off my phone completely. Whatever messages my former family was sending could wait. Or better yet, could go unanswered forever. The first-class seat was comfortable. The flight attendant offered champagne, and I accepted. As we took off, I looked out at the city lights below and thought about the last 4 years. Every late night coding while my family slept. Every hackathon I attended while they thought I was wasting time. Every meeting with advisors and potential investors while they assumed I was failing. Congratulations on your graduation, the flight attendant said, noticing my cap and gown and my carry-on. Thank you. It's been an interesting day. Good interesting or bad interesting? Both, but ultimately good. That's the best kind of interesting. I spent the flight reviewing the NIT materials. My algorithm would be integrated into their main platform within 6 months. If successful, it could revolutionize how AI systems learn and adapt. My family thought computer science was a waste of time. They had no idea I was helping build the future. San Francisco was foggy when I landed, but I didn't mind. The company had sent a car, and the driver was holding a sign with my name. As we drove through the city, my phone finally turned back on. 97 missed calls, 300 text messages, 50 emails. I scrolled through them without reading. They all said the same thing anyway. Variations of "we're sorry" and "let's talk," and we didn't mean it. But they did mean it. They meant it when they thought I was poor. The hotel was exceptional. The kind of place my father would have bragged about staying at. The irony wasn't lost on me. Here I was, 21 years old, in a suite that cost more per night than my family had ever spent on any birthday gift for me. Marcus Webb, the Forbes reporter, had sent an email. Saw what happened at dinner. If you want to include that in your story, it would be powerful. The tech world loves an underdog narrative. I considered it. The story of a family rejecting their son only to discover he'd already surpassed them. It would go viral. It would humiliate them. It would be justice. But it would also keep me tied to them. Even in revenge, they'd still be part of my story. I declined. My success would speak for itself. The next morning, I met with the NIT team. 12 brilliant engineers and scientists who'd been following my work for 2 years. They greeted me with genuine excitement and respect. No one asked about my family. No one cared that I wasn't a lawyer. They cared about my ideas, my code, my potential. "Nathan, this is revolutionary," said Dr. Kim, the head of development. "Your algorithm could change everything." "That's the plan," I said. "Most people your age would be overwhelmed by this opportunity. Most people my age have safety nets. I just burned mine. Success is my only option." "Your family must be proud," someone said. "My family disowned me yesterday." Silence. "I'm sorry," Dr. Kim said. "Don't be. It was mutual." We spent the day reviewing integration plans and timelines. My role would be hands-on, leading a team of developers twice my age. The salary they offered was triple what my father made. After 20 years in law, the equity package could make me worth $50 million if the company went public. "You'll need to relocate to San Francisco," Dr. Kim said. "Already planning on it. What about your life in Boston?" "I graduated yesterday. There's nothing keeping me there." That wasn't entirely true. There was Grandpa Chun, my father's father, the only family member who'd ever believed in me. He was in a nursing home now, and I visited him weekly. He was the one person I'd tell about my success, the one family member who'd be genuinely happy for me. That evening, I called him from my hotel room. "Nathan, how was graduation?" "Eventful, Grandpa. Dad and Mom disowned me." "Those idiots. What did you do this time?" "Ref used to join the firm." "Exist, mostly. But Grandpa, I have news." I told him everything. The patent, the money, the job, MIT. He listened without interrupting, then laughed for a full minute. "You did it, kid. You actually did it." "Did what?" "Beat them at their own game. Your father's been chasing success his whole life, and you lapped him before you could legally drink." "I turned 21 last month, Grandpa." "Still counts. So they disowned you right before finding out." "Right after. The papers were already signed." "Poetic justice. Your grandmother would have loved this. She always said you were the smart one." "They want to take it back now." "Of course they do. Don't let them." "I won't." "Good. Nathan, I'm proud of you. Not because of the money, but because you didn't let them break you. You built yourself into something amazing despite them." "Thanks, Grandpa. Will you still visit me?" "Every week, when I'm in town. And I'll fly you out to San Francisco whenever you want. First class. Only way to travel now." "That's my boy. Let your father stew in his mediocrity. You've got bigger things ahead." After hanging up, I sat on the balcony overlooking the bay. 21 years old, millionaire, soon to be MIT PhD student, chief innovation officer at a company that could change the world. And completely alone by choice. My phone rang. Unknown number, but a Boston area code. Hello. Nathan? It's Aunt Patricia. My father's sister. The one who'd always compared me unfavorably to her own sons. What do you want, Patricia? I heard about what happened. The disownment. News travels fast. Emma's video is everywhere. Nathan, the family is appalled. The family? The same family that called me the weak link at every gathering. We didn't mean. What do you want, Patricia? Your father is devastated. He's been drinking, calling everyone, trying to figure out how to fix this. There's nothing to fix. He got what he wanted. He didn't know about your success. And that's the problem. He should have been proud of me regardless. Instead, he was embarrassed by me until he found out I was rich. That's not parenting. That's opportunism. You're being cruel. I'm being honest. Something this family has never been good at. Your mother is having a breakdown. She'll recover. She's good at playing the victim. How can you be so cold? 21 years of practice. Every time they dismissed me, ignored me, belittled me, I got a little colder. This is who they made me. We're having a family meeting tomorrow to discuss the situation. Have fun with that. I won't be there. Nathan, please. Family is family. No, Patricia. Family is support, love, encouragement. What we have is just shared DNA. And according to the papers your brother made me sign, we don't even have that anymore. You're going to regret this. The only thing I regret is wasting 21 years trying to earn the approval of people incapable of giving it. I hung up and blocked her number 2. The next few days in San Francisco were productive. I found an apartment with a view of the Golden Gate Bridge. The company helped with relocation, and I hired movers to pack up my condo in Boston. I never went back to my parents' house. The Forbes interview was scheduled for Monday afternoon. Marcus Webb met me at a coffee shop in Palo Alto. So, Nathan, tell me about your journey. I told him about discovering coding in high school, about the late nights teaching myself machine learning, about the professor who saw potential and mentored me. I didn't mention my family once. Your parents must be proud. I'm focused on the future, not the past. Fair enough. What drives you? Proving that traditional paths aren't the only paths. My algorithm could help millions of people. That's what matters. You're very young to have such responsibility. Age is just a number. Innovation doesn't have an age requirement. What's next for you? MIT PhD program while working at NIT. I want to push the boundaries of what's possible. Any concerns about burnout? When you love what you do, it doesn't feel like work. The interview lasted 2 hours. Marcus was thorough but respectful, never pushing about family despite clearly knowing something had happened. The article would come out in 3 weeks, part of a larger feature on young innovators. That evening, I got an email from someone unexpected. Rachel Chun, my cousin. She was at Harvard Medical School, the family golden child. Nathan, I heard what happened. I'm sorry. I know we weren't close. But I wanted you to know that not everyone in the family agrees with what your parents did. You deserved better. Congratulations on your success. You earned it. It was the first genuine message from any family member besides Grandpa. I responded simply, "Thank you, Rachel. Good luck with medical school." She replied immediately, "If you ever want to talk, I'm here. Family dysfunction is something I understand more than you might think." I filed that away for later consideration. Maybe not all bridges needed to be burned. Tuesday morning, I flew back to Boston to pack properly. The moving company would handle everything, but I wanted to retrieve a few personal items. As I packed, I found photo albums my mother had made, years of family pictures where I was either absent or pushed to the side, birthday parties where Emma was the center of attention while I stood in the background. Family vacations I wasn't invited on because I had summer school. Really, just an excuse to leave me with Grandpa. I kept one photo, Grandpa and me at my high school science fair, where I'd won first place. My parents hadn't attended, but Grandpa had driven 2 hours to be there. He was the only one smiling genuinely in any picture I could find. Wednesday, I visited him at the nursing home. "You look good, kid. Success suits you." "It's been a weird week, Grandpa." "I heard. Your father called me 15 times, wanted me to convince you to forgive them. And I told him he made his bed. Time to lie in it. He must have loved that. He threatened to stop paying for my care here." "What?" I stood up, angry. "He can't." "Relax. I've been paying for myself for 2 years. He just doesn't know it. I let him think he was helping because it made him feel important." "You're incredible, Grandpa." "I'm practical. I learned long ago not to depend on your father for anything important." "Why didn't you warn me about him?" "Would you have believed me? Or would you have spent even more time trying to prove me wrong?" He was right. I would have tried harder, wasted more energy seeking approval that would never come. "Besides," he continued, "you needed to learn to fight. And you did. You won. It doesn't feel like winning. It will. Give it time." Thursday was the movers. As they packed up my life, my landlord, Mrs. Peterson, stopped by. "I heard you're leaving us, Nathan. Job opportunity in California. Your parents must be sad to see you go. We're not in contact." She looked surprised but didn't push. "Well, you were a wonderful tenant. Quiet, respectful, paid on time. If you ever come back to Boston, let me know." "Thank you, Mrs. Peterson." As the movers loaded the truck, I saw a familiar car pull up. Emma got out, looking haggard. Her usually perfect appearance was disheveled, her eyes red from crying. "Nathan, please, just talk to me." "There's nothing to say, Emma." "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." "For what? For the TikTok? For years of mockery? For being embarrassed by me?" "All of it. I was horrible." "Yes, you were." "I was jealous," she admitted. "Jealous? You were the golden child. I was the performing monkey. Do you know how exhausting it is being perfect all the time? Getting straight A's, being in every club, dating the right guys, saying the right things? You were free to be yourself. I hated you for that. So you made my life miserable." I followed their lead. Mom and Dad said you were a disappointment, so I repeated it. I wanted their approval. And you got it. No, I got their conditional love. The second I slip, I'll be where you were, except I don't have your brilliance to fall back on. That's not my problem anymore. I know. Nathan, I deleted the video. I'm sorry I posted it. It's been screen recorded thousands of times. Deleting it doesn't matter now. I know, but... Emma, what do you want from me? Forgiveness. I don't have any to give. You spent 4 years making me feel worthless. One apology doesn't fix that. What would? Nothing. Some things can't be fixed. They can only be left behind. So you're really leaving? Tomorrow. And we'll never see you again. You disowned me, remember? It was your idea to film it, to make it public. You got what you wanted. I wanted my big brother, she said, crying now. I wanted the guy who taught me to ride a bike, who helped me with math homework, who protected me from bullies in middle school, before Mom and Dad turned us against each other. That person is gone, Emma. They killed him with 1,000 cuts. You helped. I know, she sobbed. I know, and I'm sorry. Be better with your next sibling. What? Mom's pregnant. Didn't you know? About 3 months along. They were going to announce it at graduation dinner, but the disownment took precedence. Emma looked shocked. How do you know? I saw the prenatal vitamins in her purse months ago. Plus, she stopped drinking wine at dinners. It was obvious if you paid attention. They're replacing you? Probably. Or trying to. Good luck to that kid. Nathan. I have to go. The movers are waiting. I left her standing on the sidewalk, crying. Part of me felt bad, but most of me felt nothing. She'd made her choices. Now she had to live with them. Friday morning, my last day in Boston. I had one final stop, the family lawyer's office. Not my father's firm, but the independent lawyer I'd hired. Mr. Chun, the papers have been reviewed. The disownment document your parents had you sign is legally binding. They cannot claim any portion of your current or future assets. And my assets are protected? Completely. The trust we established last year ensures that. Your patents, your earnings, everything is secured. What about inheritance? From other family members? Unless specifically excluded in their wills, you could still inherit. Disownment from parents doesn't automatically exclude you from grandparents or other relatives. Good to know. May I ask why you signed the papers? With your resources, you could have fought it. Because I wanted the clean break. They thought they were punishing me. Really, they were freeing me. That's a mature perspective for someone your age. I grew up fast. One more thing. Your grandfather, Richard Chin Sr., asked me to give you this. He handed me an envelope. Inside was a handwritten note. Nathan, if you're reading this, it means you followed through with the separation. Good. Your father is an idiot who inherited my stubbornness, but not my wisdom. You got both, plus your grandmother's heart. I've changed my will. Everything goes to you. The house, the investments, everything. Your father will contest it, but it's ironclad. Consider it venture capital for your future. Love, Grandpa. When did he do this? 6 months ago. He seemed to know this day was coming. How much? The estate is valued at approximately $12 million. I sat back, stunned. Grandpa had been planning this too. Does my father know? He will when your grandfather passes. Until then, it's confidential. Thank you. I left the office and drove to the airport. As I waited for my flight, my phone buzzed with a news alert. The Forbes article had been released early. The headline, 21-year-old MIT grad revolutionizes AI, secures $3.2 million before diploma. The article was positive, focusing on the technology and its implications. Marcus had kept his word, not mentioning the family drama, but the internet had connected the dots. Emma's deleted TikTok was being shared alongside the article. The narrative wrote itself. Brilliant son rejected by family, succeeds anyway. My phone exploded with notifications. LinkedIn connection requests from CEOs. Twitter mentions from tech influencers. Interview requests from major news outlets. And buried among them, a text from an unknown number. Nathan, this is Mom. I know you blocked my regular number. I'm at the hospital. The stress caused complications with the pregnancy. I might lose the baby. Please come. Please. I stared at the message. The old Nathan would have run to the hospital, forgiven everything, tried to fix things. But that Nathan had been disowned legally and emotionally. I deleted the message and boarded my plane. The flight to San Francisco felt different this time. Not an escape, but an arrival. I was going home to a life I'd built myself, with people who valued me for who I was, not what I could give them. As we took off, I got one last message, this one from Grandpa. Saw the Forbes article. Your grandmother would be so proud. Don't look back, kid. The best is ahead of you. He was right. At 21, I had money, purpose, and freedom. The family that had tried to break me had only made me unbreakable. They'd given me the greatest gift possible, the knowledge that I didn't need them. San Francisco was sunny when I landed. The company car was waiting. My new apartment was ready. My team was excited to start working. My future was unlimited. My phone buzzed with another message from the hospital, this time from Dad. Your mother lost the baby. She needs you. We need you. Please, son, come home. I felt a pang of sympathy for my mother's loss, but I didn't respond. They'd made their choice at that graduation dinner. They'd signed papers, made announcements, filmed it for social media. They'd chosen their pride over their son. Now they had to live with that choice, just like I was living with mine. Monday morning, I started my new job. The office was everything I'd dreamed of. Innovative, collaborative, filled with people who spoke my language. Not the language of disappointment and judgment, but of possibility and creation. Welcome to the team, Nathan, Dr. Kim said. Ready to change the world. I've been ready my whole life. Good, because we have work to do. I dove into the code, the algorithms, the endless possibilities. This was where I belonged, not at a family dinner table being mocked, but here, building the future. Around lunch, someone knocked on my office door. It was Jennifer, the HR director. Nathan, there's someone in the lobby claiming to be your father. Should I call security? Is he causing a problem? He's insistent. Says it's a family emergency. Everything's an emergency with him. Yes, call security. I have a restraining order being processed. Understood. 20 minutes later, Jennifer returned. He left this. It was a letter. I recognized Dad's handwriting. Nathan, your mother is devastated. The baby was our chance to do better, to be better parents. Now it's gone, and so are you. The house feels empty. Emma won't come home. Your mother won't stop crying. I can't sleep. I know we failed you. I see that now. We were so focused on who we wanted you to be that we couldn't see who you were. You're brilliant, successful, everything a parent should want. We were just too blind to see it. Please give us another chance. Not for money, not for appearances, but because we're family. Because despite everything, we love you. Dad. I read it twice, then fed it through the office shredder. Words were easy. They'd had 21 years to show love through actions. They'd chosen criticism instead. The weeks passed quickly. The algorithm integration was ahead of schedule. The MIT PhD program started remotely, allowing me to balance both commitments. The Forbes article led to speaking engagements and consulting offers. At 21, I was becoming a known name in tech circles. Emma tried reaching out through Instagram, LinkedIn, even GitHub. I blocked her on every platform. Mom sent letters to my office. I had them returned unopened. Dad attempted legal maneuvers to nullify the disownment papers. My lawyer shut them down. They'd wanted me gone. I was giving them what they wanted. 3 months after graduation, Grandpa had a stroke. I flew back to Boston immediately. He was conscious, but weak, when I arrived at the hospital. "Hey, kid," he whispered. "You came." "Of course I came." "Your parents are in the waiting room. They don't know you're here." "Good." "Nathan, I don't have long." "Don't say that." "It's true. Listen, I need to tell you something. Your success, it's not spite. It's not revenge. It's you being you without their limitations. Don't let anger be your fuel forever." "I'm not angry anymore, Grandpa. I'm indifferent." "That might be worse. Don't become cold like your father." "I'm nothing like him." "You're more like him than you think. The drive, the ambition, the need to prove yourself. The difference is you have empathy. Don't lose it. They killed it. No, they wounded it. There's a difference. Don't let them win by becoming heartless." "What are you saying? That I should forgive them?" "I'm saying don't let them define you, either through their criticism or through your rejection of them. Be your own man." "I am." "Good. Keep being that man. The one who builds instead of tears down." He squeezed my hand weakly. "I'm proud of you, kid. Not for the money or the success. For surviving them with your soul intact." "I love you, Grandpa." "I love you too. Now go before they see you. This isn't the time for that confrontation. I kissed his forehead and left through the back entrance. He died 2 days later. I attended the funeral remotely, watching through a live stream. My parents looked destroyed. Emma looked hollow. The extended family whispered about my absence. The will reading was a massacre. Everything went to me as promised. The house, the investments, the family heirlooms, $12 million in assets. Dad contested immediately, but Grandpa had been thorough. Psychiatric evaluations proving mental competence. Video recordings of him explaining his decision. Multiple witnesses to his wishes. This is insane. Dad shouted at the lawyer. I'm his son, and Nathan is his grandson. He was free to distribute his assets as he wished. Nathan manipulated him. Nathan barely saw him in the last year. You, however, visited weekly. If anyone had opportunity to influence him, it was you. He's not even part of this family anymore. Legally, that's only true regarding his relationship with you. His relationship with his grandfather remained intact. Mom sobbed through the entire reading. Emma said nothing. The extended family chose sides, most aligning with my parents out of fear or habit. Rachel reached out again. That was brutal. Grandpa really planned everything. Are you okay? I'm fine. It wasn't about the money. I know. It was about sending a message. Did it get received? Loud and clear. Dad's beside himself. He keeps saying you stole his inheritance. He stole my childhood. We're even. You're harder than you used to be. Life has a way of doing that. Don't let it make you bitter. I'm not bitter. I'm successful. There's a difference. 6 months passed. My algorithm was revolutionizing NIT's platform. The PhD program was challenging but rewarding. I bought a house in Palo Alto with cash. Life was good. Then Emma showed up at my office. Security called me. There's an Emma Chin here. Says she's your sister. I don't have a sister. She says it's about your mother. Something about cancer. I paused. Even now, the word had power. Send her up, but have security stand by. Emma looked terrible. She'd lost weight. Her designer clothes replaced with simple jeans and a sweatshirt. She looked older, tired. It's true, she said immediately. Mom has breast cancer. Stage 3. I'm sorry to hear that. That's it. You're sorry. What do you want me to say, Emma? I want you to care. She's your mother. No, she was my mother. She signed that away, remember? Nathan, she's dying. We're all dying, just at different speeds. How can you be so cold? Practice. She wants to see you. Wants don't always get fulfilled. She taught me that. This is different. This is life and death. Everything with our family is life and death. Every drama is the end of the world. I'm not playing anymore. This isn't drama. It's cancer. And that's terrible. But it doesn't undo 21 years of emotional abuse. We weren't abusive. What would you call constantly telling a child they're not good enough? That they're a disappointment? That they're an embarrassment? That sounds like abuse to me. We were pushing you to be better. No, you were pushing me to be different. There's a distinction. Mom needs you. Mom needs medical care. She has excellent insurance through Dad's firm. She'll get the best treatment available. She needs her son. Then she shouldn't have disowned him. Emma started crying. Please, Nathan. For me. You mean for the sister who filmed my humiliation for TikTok views? That sister. I was young and stupid. You were 20, old enough to know better. I'm begging you. I know. It's uncomfortable, isn't it? Being powerless, having someone hold all the cards. Welcome to my entire childhood. You're punishing us. I'm protecting myself. There's a difference. What if she dies? Then she dies. It won't be my fault or my responsibility. You'll regret this. I regret a lot of things. Not saying goodbye won't make the list. How do I tell her you won't come? Tell her the truth. Her son doesn't exist anymore. She made sure of that. Emma left, defeated. I went back to work, but concentration was difficult. Cancer, the great equalizer. Even money couldn't always beat it. That evening, I called Rachel. Is it true? About your mom? Yeah. Found out last week. It's aggressive. How's she handling it? Badly. She keeps asking for Nathan. He can't help her. He could comfort her. The same way she comforted him when he needed it. That's harsh. That's karma. You really won't see her. Rachel, they had my entire childhood to love me. They chose conditional approval based on their narrow definition of success. Now that I've succeeded on my own terms, they want back in. Cancer doesn't change that pattern. People change when facing death. No, they become more themselves. Mom's using cancer as emotional manipulation. It's just another tool to get what she wants. Maybe. Or maybe she genuinely wants to make peace. She can want that. Doesn't mean she'll get it. You're going to therapy, right? Twice a week. It's how I stay this calm about it. What does your therapist say? That I have the right to maintain boundaries, even when someone is sick. That guilt is not a good reason to break those boundaries. That I need to do what's best for my mental health. And this is what's best. Staying away from toxic people who happen to share DNA? Yes. Months passed. Mom went through chemo. I heard updates through the family grapevine, but maintained distance. My work flourished. The algorithm won awards. MIT offered me a teaching position after graduation. Life moved forward. Then Dad showed up at a conference where I was speaking. He waited until after my presentation on adaptive AI systems. 300 people had just given me a standing ovation. That was brilliant, he said, approaching at the reception. Security, I called out. Wait, please. 5 minutes. You have 30 seconds. Your mother is in remission. The treatment worked. Good for her. She wants to celebrate with family. Then celebrate with Emma. She wants you there. And I wanted parents who loved me unconditionally. We don't all get what we want. Nathan, we made mistakes. Time's up. Security. They escorted him out. Several attendees witnessed it, adding to my reputation as someone who didn't tolerate nonsense. Harsh, said a colleague who'd observed. Necessary, I replied. Family troubles? No family at all. By choice. A year after graduation, the Forbes 30 Under 30 list was announced. I was number 3 in the technology category. The write-up mentioned my algorithm, the patent sale, my work at NIT, and my MIT progress. It didn't mention family at all. Emma sent a congratulations card to my office. Inside, Mom and Dad saw the Forbes list. They're proud of you, even if they can't say it. I'm proud of you too. You became everything you dreamed of despite us. Maybe because of our failure. Either way, you won. I kept the card, not out of sentiment, but as evidence. Evidence that success was the best revenge. Evidence that I'd been right to walk away. 2 years after graduation, I sold my second patent. This one for $15 million. The announcement made tech news globally. My phone exploded with congratulations from everyone except the people who'd raised me. That night, alone in my Palo Alto house, I felt something I hadn't expected. Peace. Not happiness, exactly, but the absence of the need for their approval. I'd spent 21 years seeking it. The last 2 years proved I never needed it. My therapist called it closure. I called it freedom. 3 years after graduation, I ran into Emma at a tech conference. She was there with her new boyfriend, apparently a software developer. Nathan, she said, surprised. Emma, you look good. Success suits you. Thanks. I'm in tech now too. Marketing for a startup. Good for you. I learned from watching you that traditional paths aren't the only ones. Expensive lesson. Yeah. We stood awkwardly for a moment. "They ask about you," she said finally. "Mom and Dad." "Okay. That's it." "Okay. What else is there?" "They've changed, Nathan. Therapy, counseling. They realize what they did. Good for them." "You really don't care?" "I really don't." "How?" "By building a life that doesn't include them. By surrounding myself with people who saw my worth before it had a dollar sign. By choosing my own family." "We are your family." "No. You were assigned to me by biology. Family is chosen, and I choose to exclude people who only valued me after I proved profitable. That's not fair. Life isn't fair. They taught me that." "Nathan, I have a panel to moderate. Good luck with your startup." I walked away, feeling nothing. Not anger, not sadness, just nothing. They'd become strangers who happened to know my history. 5 years after graduation, Grandpa's house finally sold. I'd kept it empty, unable to decide what to do with it. The buyers were a young family, excited about the neighborhood and schools. At the closing, the lawyer mentioned my parents had tried to visit the house several times. "They wanted to retrieve family photos," he said. "Did you let them?" "You said no one was allowed inside." "Good. The photos are in storage. What should I do with them?" "Donate them to whoever takes old photos. Or burn them. I don't care." That seems wasteful. So was spending 21 years trying to earn their approval. I signed the papers, collected the check, and donated the entire amount to a scholarship fund for students estranged from their families. The Chin Foundation for Independent Scholars. It felt appropriate. The announcement of the foundation made news. My parents would see it, would understand the message. I was erasing them from my legacy while helping others in similar situations. 10 years after graduation, I was CEO of my own company, valued at $2 billion. MIT had given me tenure. I'd married Sarah, a brilliant biochemist who understood my family situation because she'd escaped her own toxic family. We had a son. We named him James, after no one. A fresh start with no baggage. "Will you ever tell him about them?" Sarah asked, meaning my parents. "When he's old enough to understand that DNA doesn't make family." "They're still alive, living in Boston. Your mom's cancer has been in remission for years." "I know. They could meet him." "No. They lost that privilege when they chose pride over love." "You don't worry he'll resent you for keeping them away?" "I worry more about exposing him to people who love conditionally, who measure worth in achievements rather than existence, who would teach him he needs to earn love." "You're protecting him." "I'm giving him what I never had, unconditional acceptance." "By completely rejecting your family?" "By choosing to create a better family." Sarah understood. She'd walked away from her alcoholic parents at 18, never looked back. We were 2 orphans by choice, building something better from scratch. 15 years after graduation, Emma reached out one last time. Email this time. "Nathan, Dad died yesterday. Heart attack at his desk. He was working on a case. Mom wanted you to know. The funeral is Saturday. You're not expected to attend, but you're welcome if you choose." He never stopped regretting the disownment. He kept every article about you, every mention of your success. His office wall was covered with them. He was proud of you, even if he couldn't say it to you. "I know you won't come. I understand why, but I wanted you to know he loved you in his broken way. We all did. We just didn't know how to show it until it was too late. Emma, I read it twice, then deleted it. Dad was dead. The man who'd valued image over authenticity, success over happiness, reputation over relationship. He died at his desk, probably trying to prove something to someone who didn't care. I didn't attend the funeral, but I did something else. I donated $1 million to gambling addiction programs in his name, not for him, but for the families destroyed by similar addictions to approval and appearance. Mom lived another 5 years. She died alone in the house they'd almost lost to debt, surrounded by photos of the family she'd pushed away. Emma sent me the obituary. I read it, noted the revisionist history, making them sound like loving parents, and recycled the paper. 20 years after graduation, at 41, I stood in front of another graduating class, this time as their commencement speaker. MIT had asked me to inspire the next generation. 20 years ago, I began. I graduated into uncertainty. My family had just disowned me for choosing computer science over law. They signed papers cutting me off, filmed it for social media, announced it proudly. They thought they were teaching me a lesson about disappointment. Instead, they taught me that the only approval worth seeking is your own. That success means defining your own path, not following someone else's. That family isn't about blood, but about choice. Some of you have supportive families cheering you on today. Cherish them. Some of you have families who don't understand your dreams. That's okay. And some of you, like me, have families who would rather disown you than accept you. You're not alone. Build your own family. From friends who see your worth. From mentors who nurture your potential. From partners who love you unconditionally. From children you raise with the love you deserved. Success isn't about proving wrong the people who doubted you. It's about proving right the person you always knew you could be. My parents died without reconciliation. Not because I'm cruel, but because I chose to protect the life I built from the people who tried to destroy it. That's not weakness. That's wisdom. So graduate, dream, build, succeed. But do it for you, not for anyone else's approval. The only validation that matters is the person you see in the mirror. And if your family can't see your worth, their loss, your gain, your freedom. The applause was thunderous. Later, dozens of students approached me with similar stories. Families who didn't understand. Parents who withheld love. Siblings who mocked dreams. Did you ever regret it? One asked. Not reconciling. I regret that reconciliation was impossible. But I don't regret protecting myself from people who would have continued hurting me. Even when they were dying. Death doesn't erase damage. It just ends the opportunity to create more. That's cold. That's honest. My son James, now 10, was in the audience. He'd heard the speech, heard my story, told publicly for the first time. Dad, he said later, those people who disowned you, my grandparents, do they know about me? I don't know. Maybe. Do they want to meet me? I don't know that either. Do you want me to meet them? I want you to grow up knowing you're loved unconditionally, that you don't need to earn approval, that your worth isn't measured in achievements. They couldn't provide that environment. So no. Okay. He accepted it simply, the way children do when they trust their parents' judgment. Someday, he might challenge it, might seek them out himself. That would be his choice, but not while I could protect him. That night, Sarah and I sat on our deck, overlooking the bay. Powerful speech, she said. Therapeutic. Any regrets? About the speech? About any of it? The disownment, the estrangement, the finality. No. They made their choice at that graduation dinner. Every action after that was just consequence. Even Emma? She was young. She was old enough to know cruelty was wrong. She chose to participate, to film, to mock. Youth doesn't excuse that. You've never forgiven any of them. Forgiveness requires repentance. They were sorry I got successful, not sorry they hurt me. There's a difference. And now they're all gone. And I'm still here, building, creating, loving my real family. That's the best revenge. Is it revenge? Or just life? Maybe both. 21 years after that graduation dinner, I received a package. No return address, but Boston postmark. Inside was a USB drive and a note. Mr. Chun, I was hired to clean out your parents' house for the estate sale. I found this in a hidden drawer. Thought you should have it. A friend. I plugged in the drive. It was full of videos. Years of birthday messages never sent. Christmas greetings recorded, but never delivered. Apologies practiced, but never spoken. The last video was dated a week before Dad's death. Nathan, I know you'll never see this. I know I destroyed any chance of reconciliation when I brought those papers to your graduation, but I need to say this, even if only to this camera. I was wrong, not just about the disownment, but about everything. Every criticism, every dismissal, every moment I chose my ego over your happiness. You were brilliant, and I was too blind to see it. You were perfect, and I demanded you be different. Your success doesn't surprise me. You were always destined for greatness. I just wanted it to be my kind of greatness, and that was my failure, not yours. I love you. I've always loved you. I just loved my pride more, and that cost me my son. I'm dying knowing I'll never fix this. That's my hell, and I deserve it. Be happy. Be free. Be everything I prevented you from being while under my roof. And know that somewhere, in whatever comes after this, I'll be proud of you. Finally, truly, unconditionally proud. Your father, if I can still call myself that. I watched it once, then deleted the entire drive. Some bridges, once burned, can't be rebuilt. Some words, once said, can't be unsaid. Some papers, once signed, can't be unsigned. They gave me disownment papers as a graduation gift. In return, I gave them exactly what they asked for. A life without me in it. The irony was perfect. They thought they were punishing me. Instead, they freed me. And in that freedom, I found everything they said I'd never achieve. Success, happiness, family, purpose, everything except them. And that, as it turned out, was exactly what I needed. Thank you for listening to my story of growing up faster than I ever wanted to. I've left 2 more stories on your screen, both from young men who learned that sometimes becoming an adult doesn't happen at 18. It happens the moment your family needs you to be strong. Click on whichever one speaks to you. And if you want to join our community of people who understand what it's like to be forced to grow up overnight, that notification bell is waiting. Until tomorrow, remember, age is just a number, but courage defines who you really are.